Hey guys, it's Becca with good hair and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please be sure to subscribe and also click the bell. That way you're notified when I drop new videos. So I wanted to do a little story time today because I have been really obsessed with learning about multi-level marketing companies, and I just find them so fascinating. And I realized that I had never told a story about the time that I was almost roped into an MLM, and it was really frustrating. So I just wanted to tell that story for you guys. The story that I'm going to tell happened several years ago, and it was when I had just recently graduated from college. So I was looking for a job and I had moved back to my hometown, and I had run into a friend of mine. It was somebody who I kind of lost touch with, and I'll change her name. I will call her Jenny. And I had run into Jenny and I hadn't seen her in probably years at that point. And she and I were just kind of catching up, and I was talking about how I had just gotten done with college and I was looking for a job and everything. So Jenny told me, oh, hey, well, actually, my job is hiring an administrative assistant. So it'd be super awesome if you could work with me. And I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. So we exchanged information, and it's been so long. I think what she was going to do was she was going to pass my phone number along to her boss. So she told me that he would get in touch with me, her boss, about the administrative assistant job. So I was like, great, that'd be awesome. So what ended up happening was the guy got in contact with me, her boss, Jenny's boss, and her boss's name was, we'll give him a name. His name was Steve. So Steve was my friend Jenny's boss. So Steve gave me a call, and this was my first red flag. Steve gave me a call late at night, really late at night. I'm talking maybe 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. or later, very outside of normal business hours when you would normally be calling somebody about a job. At least most jobs that I've been, applying for or interviewing for. Steve called me incredibly late, so that was my first red flag. I thought, this is really strange, but I decided to answer the call. And I think it was actually while I was out with somebody, and I decided to just answer the call because I wasn't expecting it. And it was a very impromptu phone call. And Steve was just asking me questions, and it was almost like a little short get to know you phone call. And a lot of the questions were strange, and I was getting a lot of red flags because he was asking me where I went to high school, which was strange, and when I graduated, which is not a good question to ask because that can determine how old you are, and that's normally not kosher for job recruiters to ask you. They're normally not allowed to ask you your age, so trying to ask you when you graduated from high school, when they directly ask you that, rather than just seeing it on your resume and kind of figuring it out. But if they're asking you, that's a little sketch. So he was asking me when I graduated from high school, so I thought that's a little weird. And he was giving me names of people that went to my high school to see if I knew them, because he said, oh yeah, that person worked for me. Did you know them? Did you go to school with them? They worked for me. And I was like, that's really weird. Why are you telling me about past employees of your company? I don't care. Why are you doing this? So it was just a really weird phone call. And he asked me if I wanted to come in for an interview that very night. It was already 7 or 7:30 at night when he called me. So he wanted me to come in even later to the office for an interview. No. I told him, oh, no, I can't, but I can maybe come in tomorrow. I told him, no, I can't come in tonight, actually, and he seemed super bummed. So we scheduled a time for probably, I don't know, maybe 9 a.m. or something like that. I don't really remember. But I said, yeah, you know, we can schedule it for 9 a.m. So I hung up and I told the people that I was with at the time about what he was saying on the phone, and they're like, yeah, that sounds really weird. So at that point, he had told me on the phone what the company was, because when I had run into my friend Jenny, she was super vague about what the company was. She didn't tell me the name of the company. She just said it was an office job, and she told me the location of the job in general, just a general location of the job, and she told me that it was an administrative assistant job. But she didn't tell me the name of the company. Steve told me the name of the company, and when I told the people I was with what the company was, they're like, that is an MLM. And the company that Steve and my friend Jenny were representing was Vector Marketing, aka Cutco Knives. When I found that out, I was like, great, so this isn't a real job. My game plan changed. Instead of getting all ready for an interview for some guy who seems super sketchy, what I decided I wanted to do was to do hardcore research on Vector Marketing and research all their scandals, all their lawsuits, and all that stuff. And I wanted to go into the interview and hold Steve's feet to the fire and ask him about all of this stuff and say, oh, what would I exactly be doing? Would I have to pay to join? Why do you guys have all these lawsuits against you if you're some great company? And just ask him all these questions and put him on the spot and just see what happens. I went to the interview and I was so ready for it. I was like, this is gonna be great, this is gonna be hilarious, it's gonna be epic. I can't wait to call this guy out on his BS. And he never showed up. What happened was I went to the interview, and the interview was at the office for Vector Marketing, and it was in this building where there are several offices on numerous floors. The office itself was really sketchy, so there was almost nothing in it. My friend Jenny was the only person there in the office. It was teeny tiny. It was like a main room with a few chairs, and my friend Jenny was sitting at a desk, and the desk was completely empty besides, I think, a computer and a phone. And that was it. There was nothing on it, like no indication of permanence. It looked like they just moved in and like they were planning on leaving soon because there were no decorations, nothing. It was just empty walls, empty desk. It was just very strange, very strange. So I got weird vibes the moment I stepped in there. And my friend Jenny was just sitting at a desk, and I came in, I sat down, we were just talking. So it was just Jenny in there, and there were a couple of doors to the left and right, and they led to other rooms. So I wondered if Steve was in one of those rooms. When I got there, Jenny said, oh, Steve isn't here, but he should be here soon. So I was like, okay. So I was just sitting there with my notes of questions to ask him. And Jenny and I were just talking conversationally because we were friendly. She and I had been friends, good friends, over the years, and we had just lost touch, so we were just kind of catching up and everything. And then Jenny said, oh, do you want to see what I do? And I was like, yeah, sure. So Jenny had a headset on, and she had a list of phone numbers that she would just cold call. And she had a script. So she would just go down the list and call random numbers and leave them voicemails because they would never answer. The first call she made, she read off her script on a voicemail and then hung up and said, and that's about it. So I guess that's all she did all day, was just sit at a desk cold calling people and leaving voicemails about joining an MLM. Yikes. When I saw that, I was like, okay, I need to get out of here. So what ended up happening was Steve never showed up. He never did. So we were waiting a while, and I don't remember how long, but Steve never got in touch with me. He never texted me, called me, nothing. He didn't get in contact with me at all. He was contacting Jenny, who was a couple feet from me, sitting at her desk. And she said, oh no, Steve said his car broke down and he's not going to be able to make it into the office. And he wanted to know if you could reschedule for tonight. And again, obviously, I was like, why would I want to do that? I just told her, oh, I don't know. I'd have to check my schedule and find out, but I'll let you guys know. So what I did was I left. Obviously, at this point, I already knew there was no point in doing that because I knew it was an MLM. I knew I wasn't interested in joining an MLM, and I had wanted to go to the interview just to call him out, and obviously I didn't get my chance, and I didn't want to go back in just to have the dude not show up again. So it was just kind of pointless. I ended up just telling my friend because she was texting me asking, what do you think? Are you interested? And I just said, oh no, I'm actually not interested. Thank you for the opportunity though. And then I just, continued my job search and found something else that was not an MLM. I just want to know if you guys have had any experience of almost accidentally joining MLMs. Have any of your friends tried to recruit you to vector marketing or any other MLM companies? Please leave your stories in the comments down below because I'd love to hear about it, because it just made me so mad that somebody who I really knew in my real life tried to almost rope me in to a multi-level marketing company. And I was like, no, I'm not having that. So it just really sucked that even your close friends might prey on you when they know you're really job searching and you're really vulnerable. It just sucks that they do that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.